Old Man Sarge here. It is the 14th of August, 2024, and I wanted to kind of do a synopsis of my game that I had with To the Strongest. Unfortunately, it didn't record properly, and so I wasn't able to put it on the channel as a battle report, which is what I intended to do. My one friend didn't show up, and so I jumped in to play my other friend, and it was a really fun game. Really fun. I liked it a lot. I enjoyed it a lot. He liked it too. He's not so sure about the battle portions, you know, where you draw chits or you draw cards for if you hit or not. He's not really too sure about that, but he likes most of the other aspects of the game. And so it went well, and that happened on this last Saturday. So this is kind of a hobby update, and I wanted to talk about the game of Age of Sigmar, 4th edition. I have been studying the rules pretty intently, trying to understand all these different aspects of the game. I'm almost through it. I'll probably read through it again to make sure I've got everything. I have a game planned for the next upcoming week. So a 2,000 point game, which will be my first game of Age of Sigmar. And I have a fully painted army, and my opponent does. So I'm going to hopefully, if my camera cooperates, I will hopefully record that game and put it on the channel here. I'm taking Blades of Khorne, and he is taking the orcs, not the swamp orcs, but the other ones, not the cruel boys, but the I can't remember what they call them. But anyway, he's taking the orcs, and he said he's going to take these great big huge pigs, I guess. Orcs riding great big huge pigs, and he says it's kind of like they have 12 wounds apiece, and so they're big leaders, and so we're going to see how that game turns out. I'm a little concerned because he'll have 5 of them, he thinks, put on the board, plus another couple units, and then his leader, so like 4 to 5 of these big maw crusher things. And I'm not sure how the Blades of Khorne will work against them. I have, the reason I'm doing Blades of Khorne is because I have all of the manifestations for Blades of Khorne, and I have the whole army painted up. I purchased, initial purchase from my friend like 3 or 4 years ago, 3 years ago maybe? Yeah, no, 2 years ago I guess. I bought a portion because he was moving, so I bought a portion from him. And then I bought the manifestations at some point because they were painted and they were not very expensive, so I bought them to add to my collection. And then my other friend, I talked him into selling another portion of the painted up demons. And so I ended up with all of them. And I think I have over 2,000 points of painted up demons, and the manifestations painted up as well. So, including the blood throne. So everything's painted, so that's why I'm taking them. The other army I have is Maggotkin, and I have a huge army of painted up Maggotkin, but I don't have another manifestation yet, and so I kind of want to get one and paint it up before I would put it on the channel, because I just kind of feel wrong about putting a model out that's not painted, although maybe people don't care about it, I don't know. The other army that I'm building up now, and I'm actually painting the first model for it, and that is Dark Oath and the Slaves of Darkness. But I'm not actually painting the Dark Oath yet. I just got it. This was the thing I was saying in my previous videos that I had obtained, but I didn't want to talk about. Well, I got the box, and I really like it. I don't know if it's worth, you know, how much I paid for it, but I really like the army that's behind it, because you have 20 marauders, 5 fell riders, a chieftain on mount, and then a wildebeest, a wilder fiend, I guess, wilder fiend. And I just like the aesthetics of how they look, and I like the concept of these marauders basically fighting for their tribe, wherever their tribe happens to be, and their chaos gods are kind of pushing them to join them or whatever. So kind of like the whole idea behind it, not necessarily just really well armored guys, although I like the Chaos Knights and the Chaos Warriors. Basically, the Slaves of Darkness army is really cool. Like, the models look good. They're I mean, I don't know, I'm trying to think of any of the older models that they still have, but they have like the Gaunt, the Gaunt Summoner on disc. I've always thought that model looks cool. I don't know, I've always liked the Slaves of Darkness models. Another thing I'd like to talk about is next month I intend to put on a game, I guess a set of games, a tournament kind of, with Jade and Fire and Jade, sorry. And this is the Spearhead portion of Age of Sigmar, and I'm going to actually be putting up most of the armies. My friend will be putting up the other armies, and so I've been kind of purchasing armies, and I haven't been painting that fast, but I've been purchasing armies, and I've been assembling them and have them ready for this tournament next month. And I have quite a few to choose from that are already assembled, and I have quite a few that I will also assemble, I guess, hopefully before then. It's like 2 weeks away before September, so I have to kind of talk with the people who are going to play and find out when the best day is, and we'll put this together, have a good time. I like Spearhead for a tournament type thing because the games are not that fast, are not that long. They're kind of quicker games, and they you can get a feel for the game. And so we're trying to get a few new people who haven't played Age of Sigmar. We'll try to get them in with Spearhead, give this a try, see what you like. If you like it, if you like the faction, you can try out these different factions or whatever. So Jade and Fire, hopefully that'll kick off. Here's the map and the cards and everything. I have to do a little investment with it to get it kind of going, but I'm hoping that if I can get this going, maybe I can get some people can pay X amount of dollars to play in the future ones, and that way I can pay for the Jade and Fire sets and then save up for the next season if people like that format. I also purchased the original box set for Lumineth Realm Lords. I've been looking at it for a long time. I know that the rules in the back are for the units and stuff are no longer valid, but it has a lot of fluff in here, ways to paint it. It tells you who these different armies are, and so that's kind of why I got it. Is also for the fluff and the tokens, but I don't know how useful the tokens are anymore. But that's a beautiful book. I really like the book. It's one that I'm going to hold on to. And I'm trying to build up an army of Lumineth Realm Lords, but it's turning out to be similar to the Daughters of Khaine when I built them up. You have lots of little squishy units, kind of, and you have to buff them up to make them better, and I don't know. It seems to be a little more of an expensive army to build, perhaps. At least I'm finding that. I still need... I have another set coming that will help me with the building of that army, but I still need something else. I'm thinking the River Blades or whatever they're called, and then I need the manifestation still, and I need their shrine. So it's like I still need stuff. Just purchasing, not even assembling, to get them on the board. And of course I'm going to paint them up, and I feel I can do a pretty good job of painting them up because I have experience painting up hoplites. And so the Slaves of Darkness and the Lumineth Realm Lords are the two armies that I'm kind of concentrating on building up. However, I am thinking of painting up Seraphon after I get done with my painting project that I have going on right now. And last is Dawnbringers. This was the first book of the series that just ended. There's 6 books in this series. I bought the book just to kind of read on the background and the fluff and everything. I really like the way that they put Dawnbringers out on the web. Like if you go to Warhammer Community and you go through the little excerpts of these little stories that are like a short story, but they're really short, and it's like 1 or 2 pages, and it just tells you about like somebody that is not necessarily the central figure in a story, although I think there's a few of them like that, but it's just their experience with whatever portion of the Dawnbringer saga, and that it was so good. But then when I read this, it gives me this kind of overview, strategic overview of what's going on in the world during this Dawnbringers Crusade. I'm not sure how excited I am about collecting the books. I was initially excited, but I don't know, reading about kind of like this overreaching thing on the top. The only thing that's cool maybe would be the in here they've got a campaign, like the rules for the campaign. It might be fun if you could get enough people going on this, but I don't know if enough people have the these regiments of renown or whatever. So I'm not sure. This would be more of a campaign that would be really good for if there were a lot of people playing. You know, you had a whole community getting involved in it. I'm not sure about just a few how good it would be. But anyway, I bought it. The covers of these books are so cool. Hardcover, I love them. I'd like to collect all 6, but I'm not sure about the pricing of them right now. I'm not sure if I'm interested in buying them for their prices. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video here, and I'm not going to do another update unless I can finish my painting project, in which case then I'll show it to you. The next video, however, I will show you the Blades of Khorne army that I have currently painted. I want to show that before I go to this game with this gentleman. So that way you can get an idea of the aesthetics of what the models look like. And then we'll go through the game and see how I do in it. It's a little bit more of an aggressive army that I'm probably, you know, is my suiting. I like more like the Lumineth Realm Lords, where you're kind of like, you know, weaken your opponent a little bit before you kind of pounce on them. Type of like set it all up, you know. Blades of Khorne seems to be really like aggressive, get out there, fight as soon as you can type of an army. And I'm going to go against Maw Crushers, so I don't know how it's going to work out. I'm going to do some studying and try to find out how I can make it a little bit better, but we'll see. And you can all tell me how good or bad I've done with this. Blades of Khorne, as I said, is not an army that I would have chosen initially. It's an army that became available for a good price, and so that's why I got it. So it's the same thing with the Maggotkin. Although I like Maggotkin a little bit more because of how the army functions on the table. But we'll see how I do with Blades of Khorne. So we'll be back in a few days, hopefully, where I'll showcase the army, and then we'll be off to play the game and that time afterwards. and hopefully I can get closer to finishing my painting project for Slaves of Darkness right now. I've got one thing going on. Hopefully I can finish that one and then kind of move on, and we'll talk about the building of the armies later on. So anyway, this is all I had for today. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you the next time. This is Old Man Sarge signing off.